And we are off with another episode of Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alan Snyder, here with my boy. He puts the man in bromance. It's Zach Elias. What's up, buddy?
I certainly do. But Valentine's Day edition, baby. Let's get weird.
I tell you, we definitely have a great episode for everybody. Happy Valentine's, do we say? Because these episodes come out on Saturday. Most people, that's when they listen to it.
We do. You could have sent me a card, but we can do it. Yeah, no card.
Booze Your Daddy, the podcast. Tuesdays we do it live. Saturdays we post it later. Share the episodes. Rate, review.
Where are my orange roses?
At 8:30 was your orange roses, but we're doing this at 9 because somebody had a thing.
Yeah, somebody's wife got stuck in traffic, and then we had to go to a restaurant which had too many people. So we went to a different restaurant, and yada, yada, yada. I had a burrito for Valentine's Day.
You just yada, yada, the best part?
I mentioned the burrito.
Got a great episode for everybody today, episode 168. But before we get into that, Zach, I actually want to call you out on another thing. If we're just doing these calling out each other week to week, let's cut better promos. So I don't know if you're going to do it for your beer this week, but at least for next week, I want you to really sell me this pen when you do your beer. Zacharias Elias, tell me what you
sell me this beer. You thirsty? Got a beer for you. Done. So, from the Super Bowl Brewing Company, from the Super Bowl party, I've tried to buy different beers for different people. I got a million IPAs. So
when did you get so thoughtful?
I don't know. I have stuff. So, not for you. I had chips for you. You get there 4 hours early. By the time the party starts. Anyway, so while I was shopping for an IPA that Eric didn't drink, the only one who had man enough to drink the IPA was Deanna. Hers was bigger than all of ours. Put it on a table and it thuds. Anyway, I just walked by and think I've never had this Mexican beer. I've had others. Victoria.
It's okay. I've had it.
I have not. Now I have, but I have one left. These things moved. People seem to like Mexican beer. So I got a Victoria. Hencho de Mexico. But from Chicago, Illinois.
So not exactly Chicago,
I guess
Mexico?
It's imported by maybe Crown Imports Chicago. I don't know. It's part of the Modelo family, seemingly. Victoria. Get some.
I do believe they're all the same. And the fact that people, I won't name who, but people at my wedding were like, Sol, I'm not drinking Sol, but Tecate. I'm like, it's the same shit.
Actually, I think Tecate is worse than Sol if we're doing anything. And those Sols in the room, those things just didn't count. They were like 3/4 of a beer, but went down in 2 sips and like, you lose count early. How many did you count? I don't know. Those Sols don't count, so I had 4.
Dog beers, I only had 1.
Yeah.
Zach, I may have had a Sol from my wedding at somebody's house this weekend who I was staying at. I won't name names, but let's just say she's not great at trivia.
How did you get the Sol from Mexico to the Baltimore?
Me?
Her. She definitely steals all the accoutrement from the hotel and stuff. Robe? Did she steal the robe? At Hazer?
I think people forgot to steal the robes. I took the shoes. I got shoes.
The slippers looked okay. The robes looked a little used. I mean, I used it too, but I'm not sure I needed to totally steal it. Now, what they did have, and I didn't know how to fit in my suitcase, really strong umbrella game. And it didn't rain, but those umbrellas were like golf umbrellas.
Not in New York City. That'll last you a week.
No, I think you'll be hated on the sidewalk, but you could clear the path with that thing.
You also know the rules when it comes to umbrellas in Manhattan is the more you spend on them or the better they are, the shorter amount of time you have it. Like you leave those at a bar by accident.
Oh no, I chained them to myself. It's like those like super suitcases. I got the handcuff on it.
Those McDonald's?
Those umbrellas were the kind of umbrellas like the plow in The Last of Us. You just mow down the zombies with that thing.
Oh, so good, right?
It's pretty good.
Wait, do you get my McDonald's reference from the Monopoly thing? Did you watch that documentary on HBO from a couple years ago? You're welcome.
Get on Monopoly thing?
Yeah, the scandal.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I am drinking because I was home this weekend from Baltimore, Maryland, Duclaw. I've mentioned the Sweet Baby Jesus, which is going to be a topic today. This is called Sweet Baby Banana Chocolate Peanut Butter Banana Porter, 6.2% alcohol. How you doing?
I like bananas. Sweet Baby Banana sounds a little like, I don't know. You shouldn't be saying that. It sounds a little pedophile-y.
It would be Sweet Baby Plantains, right? Little baby plantains.
Well, fungo.
Release the Kraken.
I'm a mess over here. Shit, do I have a tissue anywhere? Jesus, this is going to be a long one.
That's terrible.
It's at the Conte.
Episode 168, Zach. I wasn't sure we were going this for today. I wanted to go Tears for Fears, but I feel like that's been done. So I'm calling this one Tears and Fears. This past
recently.
Exactly. Now, this past weekend obviously was the Super Bowl.
It was?
Every time, Zach. You are? Also, she's like, I tried to do that with something else the other day, and she wasn't happy. She's like, it's not funny anymore. I'm like, okay, I'll work on it.
It'll come back.
It'll come back. Yeah. Zach, there was so much crying at the Super Bowl. Explain to me the coach of the Eagles standing there, listening to the anthem, and just his eyes were leaking?
He was a mess. He couldn't take it.
But he wasn't doing the it just was standing
just
there.
Can't handle the anthem.
But he wasn't crying. It was just leaking.
He was just pouring.
Right? Like, I don't know about you.
Emotion. His body was stoic except for his eyes was broken.
I'm assuming you haven't cried since the Nixon administration, but it still is a little bit more like breathing and shoulders.
Yeah, I got a little emotional at Fort Sumter when they did the flag lowering. They made it into a triangle. I helped. But like it was just like maybe a single tear, like they were like a little well up. I wasn't just a faucet, a torque wrench.
Have you ever gotten close to tears for joy?
No, because my teams never win. But I could see. I've heard stories. No, I've gotten excited since like when Zoe would do something like tears of joy, but no, not that much. Rarely. Because when Zoe was born, I was excited. That was fun.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, when I really wanted to go to PT school and I took the GREs, which is like the SATs on a computer, it's not worth getting into. But at the end of the test, you can hit look at score. And I clicked it and I knew what numbers I needed and I got them. That might have been the last time I was really choked up for something happy.
Yeah.
So as far as also like people crying, now it's hard for me because honestly, I don't give a shit about the Super Bowl, who won the Super Bowl. There was a lot of crying about, it was a penalty. It wasn't a penalty. Like
they can eat a bag of dicks. They scored zip in the second half.
But at the end of the game with that ticky-tacky.
I know. I'm looking for a napkin. I'm dying here. I can't find one.
Well, use your shirt. Go Shirtskis.
I guess I need to.
You're so disgusting. Oh.
I went for it.
I love that we do this live and like it is what it is.
It is what it is. I need a tissue. I don't have one.
That's so good.
What about Rudy? So Rudy's different. That's like meant to make you cry. Like Brian's song or, E.T. gets me. Dumbo used to get me.
Brian Wilson's song?
No, he's got kicked out of the Beatles, the Beach Boys, apparently. Schnitzer sent me that. I didn't know. We got a lot of things wrong that episode.
Schnitzer's a listener?
He loves it. Who knew?
BYD?
Yeah, he's big.
This podcast?
Call out
to
our favorite fan of the week, Mike Schnitzer.
I just can't take all the whining that came from either side of that game, which I was watching it with a Chiefs fan and he came up with it. And Zach, it was perfect because I've been listening to sports radio for the last couple of days. They've been talking about the Jalen Hurts touchdowns and this rugby scrum, blah, blah, blah. And my buddy, your buddy Rosenberg goes, it's a tush push. I went, that's the tush push. That's what it should be called.
Sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
So
I love Rosenberg.
Yeah, he was still not sure about you, but I told him.
Whatever.
Commercials.
He needs more convincing. I don't change. It's going to be more of the same.
You watched the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
Was it just me, or were this year's commercials the try hardest but the biggest fails that I've seen in a very long time?
Unfortunately, barely watched the commercials. That's sort of when we did our eating or making fun of each other or Mark, who walked in, handed me a cake, took his shoe off, and stepped in shit. Idiot.
So you texted me that. Tell our podcast audience what happened.
It's like the Kramer reality tour. It's like, I don't know if you could recreate actually knowing him, but this is pretty close. So there were some people there who didn't know my buddy Mark. And
what's he look like? Describe what he looks like.
Grew.
A baby grew.
So exactly. Well, like Voldemort. Nice bald guy, Chewy, but I'm best friends in the world. Like my college roommate. He walks in, hands me a bag. It's a cake with hearts on it. Says, hold this. I go, what? He goes, just hold this for a second. He takes off his shoe. He goes running to my bathroom. I go, what are you doing? He goes, I need to use your bathroom. I go, did you step in shit? He goes, yes. I said, you had to use Zoe's shower. It's like he went from the car that he found at the street parking to our house. 15 seconds, all this went down. And so then our buddy's girlfriend, Deanna, was like, who's the guy who came in hot? It's a mess.
So you had none of the commercials? Like there wasn't
we
one
saw a few of them, but like none of them were memorable. None of them were exciting. None of them like got me there. Plus, a lot of them dropped beforehand. So the novelty of seeing them live.
I don't watch those beforehand. I actually steer clear.
I was going to show them to you on the Pat Kiernan show. Like I saw the love him. I saw the Breaking Bad one. I saw a couple of the others. None of them really were anything special. Bradley Cooper and his mom. Yeah, that's fine.
I thought most of them were swings and misses. I missed the Will Ferrell one, which I've been meaning to go back and watch. I still haven't seen. The Jeep Grand Cherokee Electric Slide I thought was pretty good, but I'm also
that one wasn't bad.
Big sucker.
Yeah,
I think the Electric Slide song is better than the dance. Like I enjoyed that song.
I think any of those weird '90s quirky things are great. So yeah, you have the Electric Slide. It could have been a blank screen playing the Electric Slide, then tell me what the product is. I'm thrilled.
Did you see the Jesus commercial?
Yeah, 2 of them.
Okay, so
he has deep pockets. Jesus.
Like, where is Jesus getting this marketing from? His budget is very up there.
Big budget, Jesus. Yeah, he's done a lot of shell companies.
Cayman Islands.
All those end tables that I've been hawking for him. He's hitting.
Still the best joke you've ever had.
I know, it was the first one too. It's been downhill ever since.
It's been pretty. But I also there's a podcast I listen to, and every other episode, they always start off with advertisement, and it goes, he was a popular man, and people didn't believe him. And then every time I just go, what is this an ad for? And it's always Jesus.
But like, what's their end game? Just more Jesus?
I think it's just church.
Just church?
Church, I guess.
They're spending $7 million to get you to go to a building for free.
No, so how much time have you ever spent at church? You're supposed to give money.
You're supposed to, but you don't have to. Temple, they get you before you enter. You gotta have a ticket. They get you a membership to that shit.
I don't think people know what you're talking about. My temple, you need tickets. It's like assigned seating.
Tickets, yeah. And it's not, or you need to be a member, which is like $3 a year. Church, you get a plate and you can put like whatever you feel right with. Not $7 million, by the way.
Stickler fluoride.
You can, and then other people, then the goyim apparently judge when they hear tinkling of change.
Anything else about the Super Bowl you want to chat about?
Not really. I mean, the game was interesting, entertaining. It wasn't like one of these duds. I'm happy with the team that won, but I hate everything Philadelphia, and if you're gonna cry, and it's okay seeing him sad.
Apparently not okay. Right, I've been texting them.
He's not okay?
Yeah.
Give me his number.
Actually,
how are things at home? Obviously not good.
I want
to. How did Timmy do? He went there. How'd that mess work out?
The texting went downhill a lot, but I think he had fun. But I saw a bunch of pictures beforehand.
Yeah.
His experience, if you're going to lose a Super Bowl, good enough. Like he had a great time, I assume.
My cousin went to the waste. Like my cousin-in-law, the cousin's husband, went to the Waste Management and then to the game. Big Eagle fan. I mean, it's a fun weekend until your team loses. It's just gonna be so demoralizing. I remember how it felt when the Mets lost the World Series. I wanted to be nowhere in front. Talk to nobody. I couldn't imagine being there and watching it. It was awful. I don't know. Where do you go into Rihanna in this? How do you do it? We talked about her pregnant Rihanna.
I don't care.
Living with pregnant Rihanna.
No, mine's nicer. But
I text you, pregnant girl with a 5-head. You must love her.
I just don't care because for me, I've seen so many great memes about it where people go, what did you expect to see? And the best was her dancing. And then there was some video of somebody with a fake pregnancy belly spinning on it like a top. Who cares? The lip syncing has gotten out of control.
I have that on my thing. They're not even trying
now.
Like they might as well just play.
The microphone was away from her face. She's looking the other way, and I'm still hearing her mouth. Like no.
They're not even trying. So just make it a dance show. We'll just put Paula Abdul up there in tap shoes and call it a day.
Yeah, but do you remember the Black Eyed Peas when they actually did try and sing, and it was really bad?
Not well. I don't really remember all that well.
Google that. It's painful.
Yeah. So there was that, and I didn't need the uprising over the Black national anthem. It's a football game that starts at 6:30. Whatever you want to sing before that, have at it. Maybe sing any anthem you want. As long as the game starts when the game's supposed to start, I don't even know when we sing a battle hymn.
So all hate mail can be addressed to zelias@yourmother.com.
People can sing anything they want. You can sing "Oh Canada" like doing hockey games.
I love "Oh Canada."
It's actually a great song. It's a better song than ours. I have no problem with any anthems that you want to sing as long as it doesn't make the game go later. The game actually ended at a reasonable clip considering it was a very high-scoring game. 10:30 out, not bad.
I was being driven back to Rockville, and I slept so hard in the car and woke up and stumbled inside. And next thing you know, it was 10 a.m. in the morning. I had a rough one.
How'd that work out for you? Yeah.
Zach, I want to talk about, we have tears. Now let's talk about fears. So
spiders. Just spiders, man.
I didn't know if you were going to be big enough. So for me, my landlord is getting her sidewalk repaved. That's not a euphemism for anything. Literally getting sidewalk and driveway.
Did you do the Ruxin? Put the swastika out there so the city pays for it?
I forgot.
So good. That's one of the great scenes in the league.
Now, do you know what I'm terrified of? I'll just go ahead and say it.
Pavers?
Snakes.
Italian
and
pavers?
Snakes in a really bad way.
My mom has the snakes. I don't mind them.
I've made friends with the guy, because I'm always coming and going, and I'll just chit chat with them. And it's one of the last days on Friday, and we're packing up, getting ready to go to Maryland. And he comes over to me, and they're completely done everything. He goes, "Hey man, you want to see something cool?" I'm like, "Oh, what do you got there?" He shows me a picture of snakes underneath of my front porch, and I'm besides myself. And he's like, "It's not really that bad." I'm like, "No, I'm terrified of snakes. It's so bad." Are you not terrified of anything? He goes,
"Oh,
he's
him."
The paver. I asked the paver if he's terrified of anything, and he gives me this like, absolutely not. So I just go
the lip.
I go extreme. I go as extreme as I can. I say, really? If I showed up at your house with a needle filled with AIDS in it, he goes, "The government's already putting it in our water." I'm like, oh my God.
That's the guy. So Nate's stepfather is your contractor?
Out loud, I'm like, there it is.
Check to the razor. Yeah.
Check to the razor.
Enjoy. No, for me, it's spiders. If you told me there's spiders under my house, we move. That's the day.
We still may be moving.
Because
the worst part, he says there's 2 baby snakes. It's not that bad. I haven't seen the mother yet. I said, stop talking right now.
Mother's in the house. Mother's going to be a big mama.
Ugh. There's a video that Rogan dropped that went viral.
Snake moan, baby.
Have you seen this? It's one of the worst things ever. I actually wanted to see it, but it was in an attic. There was some rustling, and then they saw the tail of the snakes. They're like, all right, let's get animal control to pull it out. The tail was, I don't know, 2 to 3 feet. It was like a 17-foot python. The thing falls through. It took 7 people to get. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God. For me, it's spiders. I don't like the ones with the body and the hair and they look. Forget it.
I get it. Like for me, that's just not. That's it. I don't love them.
I've been the guy like on stage with the 40-foot snake who holds it like this. I don't mind them at all. But part of that is because my mom is so afraid of snakes, like terrified. I love making her scared, so I'll pick one up and show it to her.
Just to show it to her.
Yeah, like the little gardener snake. Hey, Grammy, how's it going?
Zach, I saw something.
Oh yeah, but sorry, spiders though. When I was like in school, they have to rip. My mom had to rip the page out of my science book, like read it to me because I was that scared of it. Fucking terrified.
I totally get it. All right, well, you want to call truce right now, like you and me? We good?
Or we could get real weird with it.
It's up to you, buddy. It's up to you.
No, I get too freaky. It's too scary.
I'm gonna take a spider with some mayo and mail it to you in a glitter box.
That's it for me. I'm done. Just drop those from the weather balloon.
Zachy, let's segue into Whatcha Watchin.
Oh, I've made minimal progress. Although I started Kaleidoscope. You guys were right. It's good. We're 2 episodes in. I have done a lot of research of what order to watch them in. And they're all different. So I'm not going to just try multiple ways. So I'm just doing it the order they give it to me.
Which is what I did. And I actually think the payoffs are better. I really do. Because if you go it chronologically, something's going to happen. And then you're going to be like, wait, who was that? But if you do it the way that they show it, I think it'll be better for you.
I like the way they do it. Yeah, and last there was a poker face. Still, Thursday can't come soon enough. I think Luis Guzman's in the next one, so
he makes everything 10% better.
He does that and that MAGA dog. I found a meme of her holding the windshield washer up fighting with a dog. It makes me laugh every time. In a bad mood, I look at it.
We binged something the other day that it's not worth watching. It was a Netflix docu-series called Pepsi, Where's My Jet? Which it gives. Do you remember when we were? If you watch it, the first 10 minutes, a lot of it's going to go, oh yeah. Basically, back in the 90s when the cola wars were going on, and Pepsi wanted to get some market share from Coke, they did this whole thing with earn Pepsi points, and then you can send it in for a hat, for a t-shirt, and then in the commercial, it had some little kid show up at school in a fighter jet and said 7 million points.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, that's pretty cool. Well, anyway, some asshole decided like, well, let's see if we can get to 7 million points. The story goes from there. It's really not worth watching.
Did Pepsi make good on it? Because if they did,
do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it.
They went into a whole lawsuit back and forth, and there's a lot of twists and turns of it. Pepsi did not. They fought them tooth and nail. They changed it so many times. The guy ended up getting nothing, but he had this millionaire friend who helped him out so much that he ended up making this lifelong friendship. And the best part of it is the lawyer that they originally hired was Michael Avenatti. And half the time you're like, wait, I know that guy from... Oh, he's currently serving 12... Yeah, in jail.
He's in Yale. That said, they're so dumb. Whatever it would cost to get a professional fighter pilot to let you ride where Goose ride, to take a lap of...
It's not a lap. It's you get the jet. And it was going to be like $30 million.
They could have just said, hey, listen, we're going to fly you around for a couple hours in the Pepsi jet. They would have sold so much fucking soda. Yeah. If this thing's flying around with some guy in it, like being Goose, just shooting Pepsis out of there. Yeah, you don't have to get the jet. I'm sure they could have done something like, you get to fly to work in this jet for...
Look, they didn't give it to him.
Rock hard.
But the one thing that I wanted to bring up that I think I do this and I forgot. Do you remember the little girl who had like the cute little overbite and the dimples?
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
No.
It's your boy Fleischman's older sister.
Really?
Jesse Eisenberg's older sister. Yeah.
In real life.
In real life, it's his IRL, his real life older sister.
I heard that. Yeah.
That was when I was like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. She was in some stuff.
she did stuff.
Yeah, she did stuff. That's right.
Zach, am I the asshole?
Yes, very much.
Kickboxing tonight. 9 years I've been doing this, better part of 9 years. Gave a kid his first time I've given somebody their black eye.
So? You're supposed to get a black eye. But was he a total noob? Was he a chump? Or was he you just clocked him?
So he actually is one of my friends in the class. I really like training with this kid. We were doing high kicks on Thai pads, and he just spaced out, and I kicked the pad as hard as I've ever kicked it. The pad he's holding, fist goes into his own eye. He goes, oh, that kind of hurt. And as the next minute or two, we keep going. And he looks at me. His eye is almost swollen shut, like he's in round 11 of a fight. He goes, is it bad? I went, yeah, it's not good, buddy. He goes,
not here or here so much.
It's just funny because he keeps on saying, but I feel it's swollen, but is it black as well? And I said, do you want me to just say, no, it's not bad? I'm telling you, you're going to get home and your girlfriend's going to go, what the fuck happened to your eye? It was really bad by the end of it.
Valentine's Day. I know. He might have somewhere to be.
He's really strong. He's only been training for a couple of months. He's getting really good. And when I was holding pads, the kid was rocking my hands. I mean, it was really he's really good. We both are really strong, but I felt so bad. His eye is purple. It is so bad.
It's hysterical. That's not bad. It's not ideal for Valentine's Day, but he'll be fine.
Let's segue to Valentine's Day because I don't know how to broach this topic. There is a guy who used to be in the UFC. He dated Ronda Rousey. He got friendly with Rogan. He now became a stand-up comic, and he's trying to do that. He's put out a couple of specials because he has a huge following. It's really bad. It's really bad, but he's such a famous person. He has a following. His name is Brendan.
Like your friend Guillermo does stand-up comedy.
No, this guy sells out. He would sell out like Caroline's. I mean, if they're the thing. So he's very try hard. He started a whiskey. There's so many things this guy is doing to try to get famous and big. And he's actually really funny to talk to or listen to. His stand-up is really bad. And I'm not trying to pile on the guy. His wife they've had 2 kids. His wife decided to post some sexy Valentine's pictures online. You're going to say pictures, so I'm going to send them to you. I don't know if he told her to do it, because she posted on her Instagram. He then posted 1 or 2 on his, basically doing this dedication to his wife. Zach, what are your thoughts on these pictures that I just texted you? Or do you want me just to show you on my phone?
Yeah, you can show me.
He posted these pictures on his own Instagram. Wow. And another one for you, buddy. Hip.
I see. I got on mine.
Okay. That's your mother.
That's see-through. That's really...
that's your wife. Areola. That's your mother of your children. I wanted to put this in my Pishadoo of the week, but I'm not sure how I feel about this other than it's just a little too try-hard. This is weird, right? She's not a model, by the way. Every one of the pictures on her Instagram is very, kind of wholesome. What in the hell is up with these sexy pictures?
I mean, she is sexy, certainly. That's all fine and good. that's your kid's mom. And now the internet's written in pen. So now there's pictures of your mom on the internet for when you're 12 and your friends will find. That's dynamite. It's not like you're a porn star where you're not going to be able to avoid it. Like, it is what it is. This is avoidable.
It's weird, right?
It's weird.
If you were married to her, you don't post that, right?
No.
And if she wants to post it, you're like, what are you doing?
No, what are you doing? Yeah. Kids, if you're single and you're married, go crazy. Show off what you're stripping.
Wait, if you're single and you're married?
No, that's it. No kids. That's the same thing, actually. Yeah, if you have no kids and you're married and that's who you're married to, fine. Have at it. Enjoy. Show off. But kids, it's just their mom. They don't care that she's hot. That's just their mom. So
okay, that's actually a good take. I was just thinking, it's just for me because I know him so well. It's just in his brand of trying too hard with stuff. So
if I was too hard with that, I'd be thrilled. That said, no, it's somebody's mom, because then someone's gonna find it in like third grade and just gonna ruin your kid's day. You go home crying as naked pictures of mommy on the internet. Good luck with that conversation. What do you say? Like.
You're preaching to the choir, buddy.
Yeah, it's a porn. Naked pictures of mommy doing horrible things. Yeah, that's a paid for all this deal. No, it's terrible.
All right, Zach, I'm hoping one day we're going to get sponsored by some beef jerky. So we're going to call this the Beef Jerky Quirkies. What you got?
I mean, it unfortunately happened on Wednesday, like after our episode.
Always, every time.
I mean, did you hear or see footage from the high school game, that basketball game that was 4-2? 4-2, and the same guy scored both baskets for the winning team.
And the losing team? You just go the other way?
They were just playing four corners. I mean, how the fuck does that happen? 40 minutes, 3 baskets? Insane. And they were shooting. They just couldn't hit. They showed footage. It was a disaster.
I assume they were all nice young kids from yeshiva?
Pretty much. They got God on their side.
How many of them celebrated Kwanzaa?
None.
Okay, there it is.
0. Did you hear? I heard this today actually, that the first missile that they shot at one of those balloons missed.
I did not know that.
Hey, how the fuck do you miss? The thing is huge. It like landed into Lake Huron, which means thank God it was over a lake, because this could have been someone's living room.
Can you name the lakes?
Huron, Ontario, Erie, Superior, and Michigan. I know my stuff. Anyway,
the fact that you didn't go Holmes.
Fuck that. I'm just doing whatever you want me to do. I'll do it in any order, anytime. But that said, like, you have a fucking plane. You can just close. How do you miss? At a certain point, like, just let if it's missable, then we have way too many guns in this country anyway. Let them just line up and start shooting it. It's a much more recreational use for their angst. Just shoot the balloon. Yeah, just whoever hits it. That's mine. He can call my bullet. Oh, yeah.
I did not know that they missed. That's insane. Because you watch movies like Top Gun,
and lights out.
Yeah, well, because it's the radar on it. They basically just it's a homing device. Not sure how that works, but
get those green things from what is it? Independence Day. Those guys were lights out. Those aliens didn't miss. So there's that. Julio Iglesias Jr. has said, quote, "I listen to dad's love songs to get in the mood." You ever listen to your dad's love songs to get in the mood?
My dad's love songs of cards and guns?
Yeah. Guns.
And cards.
And cards, yeah. He pays for his caddies.
Plural.
There's that.
There's plural.
Plural, yeah. 9-9. 9. So, September 9th, Springsteen descends on Camden. Where are we staying?
Camden's not that close, but if we can get tickets,
Camden
I'll go.
Yards?
Camden Yards.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which Tanta are we staying?
Call a Tanta. I'm not going.
You're not going? Because of Tanta or because
of a 3-month-old man?
Fuck it. Bring him.
Not him. Yeah, you better say him.
Well, wait, Allison, Shelby, who do I stay with? Where do they live? Who lives closest? Out of the crew?
Uncle Steven lives the closest. Uncle Steven's borderline walkable.
Go on. He liked me, I think.
He's a nice guy.
Couldn't pull him out of a lineup. I think he wears Hawaiian shirts year round. He looks very comfortable in his. That's all I got. That's my jerky.
All right, Zachy. Pishadoo of the week. I got 11 candidates, so we're going to have to fly through these.
God. Kind of put a pot of coffee on. He's at 11.
Candidate number 1. This happened to me this past weekend. People who don't leave a restaurant. We had reservations to eat dinner, and the table had been taken up for 2.5 hours.
I've stood over people and just like made it weird.
They wouldn't let us back there to do that because it was a restaurant. At what point there should be like after 2 hours we can ask you to leave. I understand you don't want to rush people through their meal, but first off, it wasn't fine dining. It was a chain restaurant.
Which restaurant?
I'm not gonna name names. Like Outback, but not
worse.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
People Uncle who don't leave. No. Okay, I don't understand that, and the fact that restaurants can't ask people to leave, that really grinds my gears.
Yeah, I would have made noise. Like, I would have made it real weird and uncomfortable for them.
I was 20 minutes away from calling it a bomb.
Glitter or real?
Candidate number 2. This I was a little late on. But I think middle school in upstate New York got in a little bit of trouble. On February 1st, to celebrate Black History Month, they decided to make the lunch menu chicken and waffles.
Woo! Yikes.
Who did they think they were fooling? Being like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yikes.
Right.
Oh, yikesy.
Like, call racism is based on hate. I don't care if that's racist or not. It's definitely prejudice.
Yeah. I mean, what was the drink choice?
Fruit punch.
I was like grape soda, but all right, go on.
Next, candidate number 3. You know, if I said the Bean, where is the Bean located in America?
The Bean?
The
like
Bean.
The Chicago Bean or the Bean?
Not flicking the Bean. It's the Chicago Bean. Did you know they're either putting one or put one, a mini one in New York City?
New York and Soho, they're making one, right?
Why?
I don't know.
It's like the artist had one thing to do, and it's like, all right, we're going to do it again somewhere.
Again, 30 years later.
It's so stupid.
It's pretty stupid. They should be stealing stuff from us, not other way around. We're better than them.
I've seen these type of videos pop up on my TikTok before, and I think it's really pathetic when a one-hit wonder band, usually the lead singer, shows up at a karaoke, performs their own song, and people go, this guy is incredible. And he has to come down and be like, yeah, actually, I'm the guy. The video specifically
so lame.
Is the guy from the Verve Pipe. It was it was the guy from the Verve Pipe or the Verve, one of the two. Verve, and he got up, and it is so try hard. I don't get that.
You know, I wouldn't recognize him, so
nobody does. That's the point.
Yeah.
I thought that was really bad. All right,
I would have gone up. I'm the Verve Pipe. I go up and sing Rod Stewart. Like, what's the difference at that point?
Let's get a little funny. A man was being interviewed to become a police officer, and for whatever reason, during this interview, admitted to having child porn on his computer. At which point, they had to do some type of lie detector. He failed that, and is in jail right now.
He pretty much turned himself in.
Trying to interview to be a cop. What the hell?
It's in what state?
I keep on saying I want to say New York because this is where I'm getting this stuff.
Yeah, it's not great.
Next one. India, they have a thing for cows. They tried to rebrand Valentine's Day as National Cow Hug Day. And before it could go wrong, they pivoted hard off of it.
That's real wrong.
That's just one of those things. Like, why are they doing that? During the Super Bowl celebration, Terry Bradshaw, who started to look a little frail up there, like he started to look like grandfather, not cool sports reporter guy. Did you hear when he said, all right, Andy, come waddle over here so I can interview you?
Yeah.
He just waddled to him. What a dick.
I don't know. It's great.
He looks like a walrus, but still.
There's only 60 million people watching as he's torturing this guy.
Next one. Trump has apparently come out with a nickname for Ron DeSantis. He tried some like dissent or something, which wasn't good.
Sanctimonious.
He's now calling him Meatball Ron. I like it. I like it a lot.
I mean, we got to get Ron Katz to approve. Rons need to approve these things. He gets Ron Katz approval. Meatball Ron.
I think we just start calling him
Meatball Ron has to be Italian.
That's what he's going for.
He's not. DeSantis, is that Italian?
DeSantis?
I don't know. He doesn't seem to be.
Where do you think the Jamoke is from?
DeSantis. It's got to end in an I. Hey, yo. Like that lady from the South Shore who ran that kid over twice.
Zach, why don't you tell everybody who Mr. Beast is?
Mr. Beast?
Who's Mr. Beast?
Mr. Beast? I have no idea, Ron Katz.
No. Okay. Mr. Beast is the biggest YouTuber by a lot. And I don't even mean like competing with us. I mean, think of a YouTuber. He is
any YouTubers.
Neither did I until I heard of him. But he's one of those things where if you ever meet like a little kid, I guarantee your daughter knows who he is.
No
just be like,
idea.
He has like 200 million followers. He's the biggest one by a lot. He is so charitable. He donates a lot of money. He's so entertaining. Well, he decided to pick 1,000 people who were seeing impaired and pay for them to get the surgery, which I didn't know you could do.
Stevie Wonder couldn't get it?
I think it's just certain types of visual impairments. He paid for 1,000 people to get their sight back. And they were all people who wanted to do it. Super nice of him, yeah?
Sure. This guy with the flock of seagulls haircut?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
So anyway, he is getting in a little bit of trouble by those who can't get surgery to get their vision, saying he's an ableist and how he would do this would be so disrespectful to the people that are visually impaired.
People need to calm the fuck down.
Oh, yeah. This is my tears or fear. Tears and fears. Like, save your blind tears. That is it's the dumbest thing ever.
People need to care less about everything. Just about in general. Just people need to just care less. Just go laugh. Have an Eskimo pie. Like, life's too short and not hard enough to give a shit about someone else's problems. Care about your own shit.
He's paying for all these people to get a surgery that they want to get. It's the nicest thing ever. That drove me absolutely crazy.
People need to stay in their lane. Like, literally, if it doesn't affect you directly, it doesn't matter. Just calm it the fuck down.
Did you hear that ESPN tweeted a picture that was recreating the Allen Iverson stepping over Tyronn Lue, but they did Patrick Mahomes over Jalen Hurts? And apparently that's not okay. I saw
For what reason? Some race thing? Like, what people all go up in arms about?
I'm not sure. I'm not getting into it, but it made me think. I got an advertisement for, the famous Muhammad Ali standing over Sonny Liston where he's yelling at him? Yeah. Somebody superimposed him playing guitar, and it looks awesome. It looks so good. I mean, it looks like Jimi Hendrix's hand on the guitar. I want this T-shirt so bad. I feel like that could get me in a little bit of trouble if we ever went to the real Camden, New Jersey.
I think two of us walking around, it doesn't matter what we're wearing. We could wearing tube socks and a yarmulke, we're in some trouble.
And my last candidate, which is my favorite, but we'll redo and see what you vote for. Everybody posted pictures of their Super Bowl party, at least people who wish they had more friends. I won't name them. Nobody
needed to see my party. Zoe was not happy there were no kids there. She was a sourpuss all night.
I would have played with her. I played War all night with Shay Rosenberg. It was great.
Shay?
Yeah.
Jay and Shay?
I told you he named his kid after the Mets.
I didn't realize they were Jay and Shay. They sound like a trapeze act.
Somebody I know, whatever party they were at, I don't think they were the poster. They posted the spread. And this person decided to label all the food. Now, if it was like turkey breast, corned beef, maybe a label would be good. Zach, it was a pot full of pigs in a blanket that said pigs in a blanket. There was buffalo wings that said buffalo wings.
That's a little aspy.
It was, I forget what else was in there. I'd have to look again, but there was nothing that you would go, I wonder what that is. Like, there was no pizza this, pizza that. Like, it was just pizza.
Yellow and the blue?
I'll have some of the blue. People who don't leave the restaurant too fast. Chicken and waffles on February 1st. A mini bean in NYC. The Verve Pipe doing karaoke. Man at Mr. Child Porn voluntarily. Hug a Cow Day. We have Andy Reid, Waddle, Meatball Ron, Mr. Beast, Ali and the Guitar, and labeling food that's pretty obvious at a Super Bowl party.
I think it's the cop. I mean, he gave away the game.
All right, Zachy, this episode's getting long, but let's fly through trivia. I have 5 things for you. I thought this was really funny. There's somebody on Instagram who does lots of graphs and charts and polling, and he came up with something, I'll send it to you, where people in every state had to vote which state they hated. So the trivia today is, I'm going to read you the states. You have to tell me which state they all decided they hate the most in the United States. Are you ready?
Okay.
Number 1, Alaska, California, New Mexico, and Oklahoma all hate the state of
New York.
No. Alaska, California is pretty obvious, and Oklahoma. California and Oklahoma. And New Mexico.
I don't know. Nevada?
Why would anybody hate Nevada, Zach?
I don't know. Why would anyone hate any of these states? Go on. What do they hate?
What do people in California? What do they?
I don't fucking know. Just tell me, you shit nuts.
You're not even thinking. Anyway, it's Texas. Oklahoma's literally why? Because California and Texas are the most opposite politically.
Okay.
All right. Let's see if you get this one. Number 2, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Nevada, Colorado, and Arizona all hate the state of.
Which one? What are they again?
Washington, Oregon, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Nevada, Colorado, and Arizona hate the state of
California.
Absolutely. Number 3.
I bracketed them in.
Pennsylvania, Delaware, New York, and Connecticut all hate
Massachusetts.
I'll give you another
Pennsylvania?
guess. Pennsylvania, Delaware, New York, and Connecticut all hate.
Oh, Jersey.
Absolutely.
Jersey's the fucking worst.
Number 4, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas all hate the state of
Alabama.
Roll Tide. And this one I think is pretty funny. Alabama, Georgia, and Florida all said they hate the state of
New York.
It's a trick question.
Well, Alabama hates itself.
Alabama, Georgia, and Florida all hate
Florida.
People in Florida voted for Florida.
Because there's 2 states there, and they hate each other. It's like a mini civil war. Those old Yenta Jews and those rednecks up north. Fucking chaos, that state. Everything starts with a man from Florida, and hilarity ensues thereafter.
Who's Your Daddy, the podcast? Thanks for listening to tonight's episode. Zach, we got to get started on our Oscar movies, stuff like that. But did you hear that they're bringing Barney back?
Not that Barney? Or real Barney?
I love you, you love me.
They're bringing him back? For
Rebooting
what?
him.
To, scare kids?
So Selena Gomez can get work. I don't know.
She's got plenty of work.
Demi Lovato?
She was in that shit too?
Yeah.
Didn't she get heavy?
We out.
All right.